Hi everyone, Melissa DeVito here for AOP Tech on YouTube. And Google just announced yesterday that they're adding some new features to Forms that are perfect for teachers. So I wanted to make sure that I updated everyone and gave you a chance to check those out. Just keep in mind that these features are rolling out, so if you don't see them quite yet in your Google Forms or when you open a new Google form, know that they'll be rolling out over the next few weeks here. It is on a rapid release, but you should see it soon. So I'm going to pop into my sample form here. I just opened a brand new form, and I only put a question in here. But so a couple things that I want to show you that are new or upgraded kind of features here. First of all, one of the favorite question types that was added, this was a feature added, I believe it was the fall, but it was sometime in 2016, is the file upload. And that allowed users to upload files via a Google form. The only downfall of this is that it needed at that time to be within your domain only. But Google announced yesterday that that is now going to be a cross-domain file upload, so you'll still need to sign in and use a Google account. And both, the caveat to that is that both of those domains need to have cross-sharing in Google Drive allowed. But the beauty of that is that you can upload those files across a platform now. You can set for specific file types. You can set up to a gig, and then the option of going all the way up to 10 gigs is there. Though that would be a huge file to try and do via Google Forms. So that is a new feature. The uploading is now cross-domain when both Google accounts, both Google domains have that cross-domain sharing turn on in Google Drive. If you're not sure, check with your Google Apps administrator in your school building to see if that's something that's turned on for you. So another feature, and this is something that just came up in all of our summer tech academies, this question was posed to me quite a bit. Why can't I just default to having a required question on? We love the require button, but I have to turn that on for each individual question in order to make it required. Well, now you don't. So you can actually set preferences in Google Forms now. So you can do so by going up in the top right-hand corner to your Snowman More button, and you'll see brand new is Preferences. Let me select Preferences and show you some of the things you can set preferences for. First of all, you can set it that you can automatically collect those email addresses anytime you create a form. That was a feature that in your settings, you would go to settings here instead. You would turn on and off. If you want that on all the time, you can set that so that way the preference, it defaults to being on all the time. But here's the part that I see most often. One, make questions required. I'm definitely going to keep that a required or a default setting for Google Forms. I make almost all of my forms with required questions. It would be easier to turn off maybe the one question that I don't need it on rather than having to turn on all the others in a form. If you're using the quiz feature on Google Forms as well, you can now set a default quiz point value. The default was 0, but a lot of teachers, do 2 points a question or whatever the case may be. You can set a default quiz point value too, which is really awesome. So I'm going to save my preferences there. I'll put that in as 2 for myself. For the few occasions I do use that feature, I'm going to click Save. And now I have set some preferences. So that's another new feature within Google Forms there. Next up on the new features, if I was adding a new question, there's a new question type. So they've always had the multiple choice grid where you can have different criteria going down and the X and Y axis, but it used to be that you could only pick one option in your row or column. Now you can have a checkbox grid for that. So I could put down the column days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and on the columns I could put 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m. And then if I requiring a response in each row instead. So it gives the ability to check all that applies. So I'm going to hit preview real quick here just so you can take a peek at what that looks like. And you can see I can click all if I were available for meeting per se on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, at all of those times there. So it gives that a feature instead of just having to pick one. in a form, in that grid option, you can click more than one. That's 3 new features. Next new feature, I'm going to add in a section, a pretend section here after the first questions. And I've always been able to, in those sections, use the Snowman More button to be able to duplicate a section or delete a section, merge it with the above. But the brand new one is that you can move a whole section of questions at a time. So if you wanted to reorder just an entire group of questions, you can do that. So move section, and I can move them up and down and reorder them exactly the way I can with individual questions. But now if I wanted to flip 2 sections around, I could do it in one bulk instead of having to do each individual set there. The last feature that I want to point out to you hasn't rolled out totally completely yet, and this is the one that's probably going to be the slowest on there. One of the things that Google had added in previously was an intelligent response feature. So for example, if I were to type a question in here, I said, what t-shirt size? And I continued on with that question. It gave me the suggestions of add all, and it gave me different size options, an intelligent response design. The new feature that kind of takes intelligent response to the next level will be a validation. So for example, and it's not on ours yet, but I'll show you what it'll look like. If I put email in, it'll default to putting the short answer question type. And then you'll have the ability to say, to make sure that somebody put in a valid email address with the @gmail.com or whatever the case may be. Or for a website that they did www. And .com or whatever the case may be at the end. So let me show you what that'll look like. That's going to be rolling out over the next few weeks. Most of the others you should probably see already. So it'll look like this, intelligent response validation. So you put in email address, it'll default it to a short answer, add response validation, accept emails only, which is great because how many times have we done a registration form or something like that in your school and they haven't put in the email address and now you don't have that contact information. Or you ask for a URL and it's not in URL format, so it makes it really hard. So overall, those are the brand new features that are rolling out. Most of them are there today, and then intelligent response validation will be rolling out gradually over the next several weeks by domain. So we took a look at today. We took a look at that response validation, the cross-domain file upload, that if you have both domains have sharing turned on for Google Drive, you'll be able to do that. The ability to set some preferences, which is under your More at the top right of your screen. We looked at those default settings. We took a look at grid questions and the ability to move sections when we want to. Whoops, there it is, move section. So lots of new features and useful things that make Google Forms just easy to use and perfect for almost anything you can imagine. So we hope that helped you out today and got you excited about using Forms in some new and different ways. Don't forget that you can subscribe below to AOP Tech on YouTube, and you can always subscribe to our Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram for all the latest news on all things Google and EdTech. And our website, aoptech.weebly.com, is our resource for all. Thanks so much for sharing and have an awesome day.